I got a letter from the landlords, and this is real interesting. Um, oh my gosh. This is really bad. And not even for me, but for the people who just wrote to me. I mean, for my landlords, it's a really, really, really bad look. I've already uploaded, I'm going to upload the full letter here on Instagram. I've already done it on Twitter. Check out Seraphim Rage 25 on Twitter. Or Seraphim Rage on Twitter. Seraphim Rage 25 on Twitter. Check that out. No, this is not looking good for them. Because they've fallen for the same traps that every other... You see, the way this works is that when people are supposed to harass you, they're supposed to stick to a script, right? But they don't think it through. And they think that putting emotional pressure on you is going to be enough for you to back down. So this is what they've written, right? Now, I'm assuming that my email has been shared around before because it says contract, my address, where. So already you got a sense of the professionalism that I'm dealing with over here. This is the level of professionalism that we're dealing with. It's not even the fact that they said that because, people complain to each other, right? It happens. But the fact that before you even send the email to me, like you couldn't send it separately. At least, like if you wanted to cover your tracks, this is not looking good, okay? So combine that and with some of the recordings that I've got of the relocation agent kicking off. Nah, this is not what we want to do today. Like they're talking about diplomatic and nah. According to her. So this, because of the thing is that the email was sent to me, which was sent to the director of the company or one of the directors of the company. So I got the directors mixed up when I replied to them in my email, but in this case, I don't really care. I'm sorry. It says, "Hi Fabian, this is one of the directors. This is the daughter, right? So it says, "Hi Fabian, thank you for your emails on this, and I'm sorry for the late reply. We had a death in the family last week, which delayed our response. Understandable. Prior to your recent emails on this, we had no knowledge of anything you have detailed in your emails. We're sorry to hear that you're unhappy at the flat and are having problems with your neighbours, and we can accept your notice to vacate." Okay, so far so good. "It might be more advantageous for us to serve you notice, which will assist you in finding new accommodation through the council." Now, the reason I have a problem with that is because it's still going to be private. I haven't lived here in Brighton for 3 years yet. So what these people want me to do is to save up for a deposit, which is not possible right now because of the amount of bills that I've got. They want me to save up a deposit to move into a new flat that I have to pay the deposit for. Like, come on, man. How much sense does that make? How much sense does that make? I haven't even lived here 12 months. And they want me to pay deposit for a new flat already. Like, come on. So it might be more advantageous for us to serve you notice, which will assist you in finding new accommodation through the council. Please let us know if this is the route you wish to take, although this might be more of a lengthy procedure, as we have to give you 2 months' notice. I understand from the relocation agent that she's spoken to your neighbour upstairs and she's unaware of there being a problem and denies these allegations. It's difficult for us to mediate when it's one word against another, and whilst we absolutely do not agree with abuse, mistreatment, harassment of any kind, it's not our duty to resolve neighbourly issues beyond what we already have done. We'd advise reporting the issues to the appropriate department at the council, which I've done, with the police, which I've done, if they are racist and hate crimes as you suggest. This is beyond our capacity as landlords and the relocation as our agent to deal with, as they are very serious allegations and sensitive issues. We really do apologise that we cannot support you in the way that you wish. The only support I wanted was for me to leave, and they've already agreed to give me that, so there's no problem there. We do not agree or accept your claims about the relocation agent or kudos. This person has worked with us for 15 years and has always been very responsible. Okay, this is coming from the same investment company that had wah in their email. I'm just saying, it's not looking good, all right? It's not looking good. Has always been very responsible and had the tenants' best interests at heart. They used to operate under a company with 2 other business partners, but they decided to close this down a few years ago. Since then, this person has operated as a sole trader and is self-employed under the Kudos name. Now, this is true. If you're a sole trader, I didn't know this, but if you're a sole trader, you don't have to register under Companies House. You only have to do it if you establish yourself as a full brand company. Like being a sole trader is like being a window cleaner, or it's like being a musician. If this person is letting by herself and she's a sole trader, then technically that is legal. It's legal. It's completely legal to operate as a sole trader. But this is the problem though. This person, this relocation agent that they say is operating as a sole trader, they've got people employed under them. I've received emails from other staff members within Kudos Ventures. So how are you going to tell me that it's completely legal for this person to trade as like a sole trader, and yet they've got employees underneath them? How are you a sole trader, a window cleaner or anything like that, and you have other employees underneath you? Are they freelance? What's going on? So again, this person is just like there's just lie after lie on this shit. Lie after lie after lie. Like, this person has years of experience in the lettings industry and has always acted ethically and morally, and we have the utmost trust and faith in this person. Again, wah, look who's talking. Stop it. We have been private and social landlords within Brighton and Hove for 30 years. It's just like I said on Twitter, operating under for 30 years. 30 years doing what? Money laundering? There is no way in hell that you're running this operation this unprofessionally and you haven't been able, like, there's something wrong. There's something very wrong. Now, don't get it twisted. There's corruption everywhere. And London is worse than here. A lot worse. This is just more transparent. Okay? How helping people in need. Many tenants and work associates that speak very highly. I don't care how highly they speak of her. I care about the evidence that's on the table. That's what I care about. I care about the evidence that's on the table. I don't care what other people say about who thinks highly of who. I'm going off the evidence. I'm going off the evidence of what I've got. If you're walking around here telling people, oh, the owners are fed up or this, that, and that. No. I don't care what people are saying. I care about the evidence. I care about what I am experiencing, what I am seeing and hearing. And the evidence is proof that, like, I've got audio recordings of how this person talks to dissatisfied customers or people with mental health issues. I've got audio recordings of it. About diplomatic. Get the fuck out of here. Diplomatic and conscious not to disclose confidential information. Lie. But once again, I'm not established. This person's established. It's their word against mine. We are sorry this situation hasn't turned out, and wish you the best and hope to find someone new to. Okay, kind regards. Then it's a daughter. I addressed it to the father accidentally. I basically replied to the father accidentally rather than the daughter. It's okay. It says, dear such and such, please accept my condolences with regards to your family bereavement. These things are never easy, and in this case it is wholly understandable why there have been delays to my reply. With regards to allegations I've made about the relocation agent, of course you're right. As a sole trader, one would not necessarily need to be registered under Companies House in the same way that First Charterhouse Investments would be. Now listen to this. I just wanted to be sure of who would be responsible for the emotional distress and resulting homelessness I have endured as a result of having lived here. And I erroneously believed that Kudos Ventures was listed as a web portals company and not a property management company, and therefore the company did not exist. You can look Kudos Ventures up on company's house. They are not a property relocation agency. They are a web portals company based in Slough. And like I said before, if this person is operating as a sole trader, then why have they got employees? Shit don't make no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. I think kudos are registered all right, just not in Britain. So, anyway, this is my mistake and I apologise. With regards to the relocation agent, I suppose it is truly my word against hers. Though I do have audio recordings of exactly how diplomatic this relocation agent can be, and I'm sure with such a track record of sterling professionalism, you will back her 100% of the way. So when it comes to breaking confidentiality and slandering me to other clients, I cannot necessarily prove this, but I can prove that the upstairs neighbour's children were shouting the word, forgive me for saying this, shouting the word nigger at me as I made recording about said harassment, with the view to vent more than spy. But still, I think this very crucial piece of evidence jeopardizes the integrity of the upstairs neighbour's claims, and I'm sorry to say, yours as well. Because even if I technically cannot prove the spying and mind games leading up to that point, I can certainly tangibly prove harassment bad enough for me to want to leave the property. If your 2 months' notice is still standing at the end of this email, then I will of course accept. And I must congratulate you on the inventiveness on your email heading. It made me laugh and it makes for good evidence. So, that was my response to them. Let's see what happens next. It will be very interesting to see. But this is exactly what I was saying before about why it's so important to get the law on your side. Now, if you're mentally ill or you're heavily abused, you're not going to want to record things all the time. You're not going to want to. So when things like this come along where you hear people breaking your confidentiality or breaching your confidentiality, or you've got emails like this where people are clearly lying about what's going on, you have to kind of pick and choose what evidence is most important and then compile all that evidence together in order to form a clear picture of exactly how you have been caused emotional distress, been neglected, all the rest of it. Now, again, there are other people who can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. I can talk, I myself can talk, like I can talk myself out of a room with no doors. Everybody knows this about me. I can talk myself out of a room with no doors, but at the end of the day, it's about what you can prove. I just have more evidence in my corner. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. People lie about me all the time, but all I have to do is turn on one of my videos and suddenly that lie evaporates. This is why, one of the reasons why recording on social media, not even recording on social media, even if you don't get it on social media, this is why recording is crucial. Because when you have a mental illness and you know that because of the abuse, your memory is not going to be that great, your reflexes are not going to be that great, your response time is not going to be that great. So you have to build up evidence and then bring it back to the people who are talking so that they have no leg to stand on. So what they're trying to do is say, oh yeah, you can leave now and lose your tenant rights. Personally, I don't understand why these people would even want to help me, given the allegations I've made. That's another thing that confuses me. You're a private company. If you have somebody who's causing you problems, to the point where you're calling them a whiny cunt, if you're having problem with this tenant to the point where you're calling them a whiny cunt, then why would you not take advantage of them wanting to leave in a month rather than leaving it to 2? Why are you keeping this person here? If it's all lies, prove it in court. Don't try to keep me here just to see if I'll calm down long enough to not want to sue you. And, and I get that you didn't mean to disrespect me. I get that you didn't mean to do that publicly. I get that you didn't mean to do that in the interest of professionalism. I get that you didn't mean to do that. But the fact that you were that lazy, you didn't even check the subject heading. My guy, stop it. You know what? Stop it. Just stop it. You call your tenant a whiny cunt, and then you don't want to get rid of them as quickly as possible. When this person says they want to leave in a month, you don't want to take that opportunity. I mean, sure, I'll stay for 2 months if that's what you really want to do, but understand this, it just gives me more time to prepare. You know that. You know that. I can only think of 2 reasons why you would want me to stay here. The first reason being is that you don't want a vacant flat here. You want to get enough time to get a new tenant so they can move in. That's the first thing. That's the first reason, which is the most likely reason. The second likely reason is that you think that if you give me enough time to stay here, then it's going to be enough time for me to calm down and enough for me to not want to take legal action. Listen, man, the only reason I even looked up the company's house thing is so that I'd know who to sue. And now that you're telling me this person is a sole trader, I can sue them too. I can take them to court as well. Doesn't just have to be First Charterhouse Investments. It can be the main director of Kudos, who is, by your admission, is a sole trader. I can take them to court as a sole trader. Because not only did everything happen under their watch, but they didn't even just throw me under the bus. They threw this neighbor under the bus. They basically said that this neighbor lied. Because I've got evidence online of these people harassing me. Same date, 19th of November. 19th of November, I made the report. Got the same date that report was made is the same day that fucking video was made. So basically, in a bid to cover your ass, you've basically told me, you've thrown this neighbor under the bus and said that they've lied. You've thrown this whole family, you threw this young family under the bus and said that they lied. My guy, even I wouldn't be that ruthless. Even I wouldn't be that ruthless. And I'm a ruthless motherfucker. Even I wouldn't stoop that fucking low. Even I wouldn't stoop that low. Imagine being so low down that you would turn around and say, oh, this neighbor's lying. You know there's evidence. There are people who've been looking up my social media up and down this fucking village. They know it's not a lie. Everybody knows it's not a lie. And they know there's evidence. So basically, you've put this upstairs neighbor in their position and you've basically lied and said there's no issue. And instead of standing behind it and saying, we believe there's nothing wrong, you've put it on the upstairs neighbor and said that the lie belongs entirely to them. That's low. That's low. That's low. A young family. And you've made out like they're liars. You've made out like they're the only ones who are lying in this piece, when we all know that all of you lie like you breathe. I don't even like these bastards. But even I'm like, whoa, like, really? You put it entirely in their hands. You know how hard they've had it, like having to just move here. You know how hard they've had it already. And now you're going to flip in, like, low-key, just put the entire blame on them like it's entirely their fault. Even I didn't do that. That's why it's so important. Give these people a bloody nose. Let them know. Let them know. And I'm going to send this shit to the council. I'm going to send this shit to the council. Let everybody know what kind of shit I'm dealing with over here. And let the council know. Then they're not off the hook either. Because I have to question why you've got companies like this working on behalf of the most vulnerable people here. I have to wonder what kind of fucking cowboy shit is going on in this town, in this city. Anyway, I gotta go. I love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.